a big number. Prakash is coming to you on both Federal and HDFC Bank. But Max, we have some more clarity. Yash is mic'd up. He's standing by and he's gone through the order. Yash, what is this about?
So Prashant, as far as the order and the crux of the order is concerned, there are two charges which have been levied on the insurer, Max Life Insurance. And in both charges, the penalty levied by the insurance regulator is 1 crore each, which means a penalty of entire amount of 2 crore will have to be remitted by Axis Bank in this particular case, because Axis Bank happens to be the promoter of the company. Hence, that 2 crore amount will have to be submitted with the insurance regulator within 21 days. As far as the charges are concerned, the first charge essentially talks about making undue gains of substantial amounts by the way of transactions in shares of insurers, that is Max Life Insurance and Axis Bank. Of course, Axis Bank acquired about 29% stake in the company, and as far as that particular transaction is concerned, there has been some violation of IRDAI regulations, because of which the first part of the penalty, that is 1 crore, has been levied. The second part of the penalty is on account of Axis Bank being the corporate agent, which means a distributor of insurance products of Max Life Insurance. Some violations have come up to the regulator's notice there itself. There also a penalty of 1 crore has been issued. So a total penalty of 2 crore on Max Life Insurance.
Yash, apart from the financial penalty, is there anything else?
So importantly,
any other stricture, anything else?
Yeah. It is restricted to the penalty of 2 crore. There has been nothing that has been spoken about the transaction or any problems with the transaction that will come about because of this order. So no concerns for the transaction as per the order, just about that 2 crore penalty.
So just a financial penalty, no reversal, stricture, restrictions or anything of that sort. Thanks very much for that. And I think that explains the big bounce that we've seen from the day's low. Prakash, any thoughts? I mean, Yash has gone through the order, and there's just that penalty.
Oh, absolutely. So, when Rima asked me, that's exactly what I said. So if it's just a penalty of financial nature, I don't think there's anything to be so worried about that you could get the stock off 10%. If there were strictures in terms of the bank assurance model or, some sort of suspension, then probably, that was a little bit of a worrisome area. But I think the market's probably very clearly taking cognizance of the fact and digesting it in that way, that it's just 2 crores that goes out of the pocket of both these players, which doesn't warrant this kind of a fall, and hence the recovery that you see could probably even be sharper.
Okay, let's move on and talk about HDFC Bank. Prakash, the stock is going into its earnings very strong. It's up close to about 3.5%. Typically, HDFC Bank doesn't disappoint in terms of its earnings, but it's had a rough run a couple of months ago. Things are improving on the regulatory front and the IT front as well, but it's still a rank underperformer vis-a-vis, especially an ICICI Bank, but even as opposed to an Axis Bank. Amongst the private sector banks which someone can buy, how would HDFC Bank stack up?
No, and Rima, that's precisely the opportunity. It hasn't performed. And if numbers tomorrow kind of come back with that endorsement of the fact that it continues to deliver, very promising metrics, there is no reason for the stock to continue lagging behind the peers, let's say ICICI or Axis. And my sense is this whole merger, that the impending merger between the two entities is something which people haven't been able to till now accept in terms of the financial impact, which is right up to the last level. So it's got so many moving parts, and once the whole thing is kind of consolidated, you'll probably see a very strong entity emerge. And my bet is on HDFC Limited, which eventually will be the play going forward. I think they've had one of the best seasons of sorts, and they are at a secular growth trend, which is second to none in terms of the housing finance business. And the banks also kind of recovered, but all those negatives which you mentioned, the IT issues, the regulatory overhang, all of that's kind of out of the way. So there's no reason why it doesn't need to perform. It's just that the FIs haven't been coming back in with a vengeance, and then there has been easier low-hanging fruit in terms of the banking sector for them to pluck. So this will definitely do that. It's a great tactical buy. And if you were to buy it post the results also, I don't think it's going to be too late. So, but definitely I do expect that recovery, and the numbers will actually endorse that.
Okay, all right. Prakash noted that view. By the way, the Nifty was threatening to break that 17,200 odd mark, but the intraday chart should come up for you on the screen. And it's gone to that level and seen a bit of a bounce in the day's low. So at least for the time being, we have defended that 17,200 odd. Intraday, we have seen numerous, downticks, but those downticks are getting bought into. And the bulls would like to defend the 17,200 odd mark on a closing basis. For the time being, slip into a short break. You come back. We'll continue to focus on markets as well as on stocks, and we'll get a chat going with Harish Krishnan of Kotak AMC.